Hi everyone and welcome to the channel today. So great to have you back, and it's great to have Michael in my chair. Now I've been doing Michael's hair for 5-6 years, let's say, on and off. Yeah. So I know Michael works is really good, so it's great to have him on the channel. But I don't know what we're going to do today because I haven't cut your hair in a couple of years, really, probably. Yeah. So it'd be nice to see him back and have some fun. So come on over and let's start the consultation. So buddy, what are we doing? What's the plan today? What are you thinking?
I got a lot of hair right here.
Yeah.
And it's kind of coming around and really like a circle on my face. I kind of want to, warmer weather coming around, kind of want to get rid of that.
It's getting big, so we want to maybe reduce something quite a bit.
Yeah, just keep it less puffy, and then this getting in my eyes, kind of tired of all that.
What are you doing now for work? Do you need to?
I wear a lot of hats.
Yeah.
A lot of hats. So it doesn't have to, just out of my hair on the or out of my eyes on the top.
Nice. Do you want to wear it forward and down, still work with the curl, or can we take it like short?
I usually like to wear it forward and down.
Yeah, forward and down, so keep a little bit of curl going on.
A little bit,
Perfect. Yeah. But definitely want to reduce all of this.
Yeah.
How short can we take the sides? I want to go quite short.
Pretty short, yeah.
I sort of want to get rid of it, like.
Main thing I'm having a problem with the hat, and then it comes down, and then the ears just go straight out. Yeah.
So we'll definitely cut it over the ears. Yep. I don't want to go, I'm not sure, I might, when we cut it short, I want to sort of take it down to about this length on the sides, like nice and short, but I want to keep it sort of quite textured. But I may work scissor-over-comb and start cleaning it up if I feel like if we feel like we need to, but we can talk as we sort of, delve it in. But I do want to sort of keep a little bit of length through this top and have this sort of quite sort of curly and messy and textured, but again, shorter fringe as well, so that's sort of quite high. Does that feel good?
That looks good.
Sort of kind of shape, so sort of building up a little bit here. So because I love your curl, and I think you've got a great curl. So I don't want to cut it all off because when you've got curl like this, you want to keep it, don't you? You don't want to get rid of it. You want to keep some of that good curl. But I definitely want to get rid of all of this for you. Yeah. And you're happy to lose all the hair from behind the neck.
Yeah, I think so. That sounds good.
It's about time. We've gone for the baseball mullets and stuff for a long time, so it's good to get rid of some of that.
Yeah.
Lovely. So as you can see by the consultation, this for me is going to be a bit of more of a progressive kind of haircut. So as I'm working through it, I know I want to reduce a lot of the length. I want to get a lot of the weight out from the back and the sides, and especially over the front as well. But I know as I work through the haircut, I'm going to visually see it in the mirror, visually see it as I'm working and progress through with the haircut. So I don't have a set structure in mind. I have an idea where I'm going to work towards, but I'm going to keep it very organic and just very simple, and just keep working a haircut shorter and shorter until I find the shape and what I like. And honestly, I do that quite a lot behind the chair because sometimes I never know the exact finish, but I've got a direction. I've got an idea of what I want to work towards. So this is going to be one of those great haircuts today that we're just going to see evolve naturally. So we're going to go get shampooed and come back in a minute and we'll start working some fun. I've done my thumbs again. Bless you, ruined his career. You say it ruined his career, stopped the career?
Yeah, he never pitched an inning in college.
Yeah. But he got a full scholarship because how good he was. Yeah, he was in Skyview, and we got most of the accolades and the awards at Skyview, and then obviously got the scholarship. And then, a week before he started, college, he tore his shoulder in for the college. It was like a charity event for the school, so they honoured his scholarship, didn't they?
Yeah.
He red-carded, red-shirted, red something.
Yep, red-shirted.
Red-shirted, and then played, and then done,
It was tough.
Yeah, it's a huge baseball family, like both play.
There's this kid up in Seattle that is projected the #2 pick in the draft. And so whenever that happens, he's gonna sign for like $9 million.
Wow.
Yeah, just this 18-year-old.
18-year-old getting a $9 million contract. Right?
Yeah. The baseball money is insane.
Is it?
Yeah.
What, like through the schools and stuff?
Well, just in general, like professionally.
Yeah.
Like there's dudes making $40 million a year.
At the high school level?
No, at the
professional level, yeah.
But there is NIL. Like, I think you can get paid in high school.
Wow. But they've done it with football, didn't they?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right, so finish shampooing, and then let's start section off the haircut. So I know for myself, definitely, I want to go through and make it a little bit taller. So my horseshoe's going to be a little bit higher. If I work it quite low, I'm going to get that roundness. And as Michael said through consultation, it's the roundness he's not liking. So when I go through to place the horseshoe in, I don't want to go too low, because a lot of hair on top's going to make it top heavy. Again, being a bit more of a rounder 60s shape, a little bit lower shape. So I'm going to comb the hair back and I'm going to work on a slight higher horseshoe. I honestly just want a standard horseshoe, knowing that we can direct the haircut in the shapes we want to do, whether we want to go further forward or further back. I honestly, classically, just want to go quite square. I think by looking at the face shape, the corners, and just the evenness with the recession areas, it just works a lot stronger because we are quite square all the way through. So that for me is going to be quite clear and quite keen to do that. So from here, just going to work on that curvature. Back, I'm going to go a tiny bit lower than that, but let me double check that out. Yeah, because we're really high there, so just a tiny bit lower. Just looking at recession, and then just come that little bit lower, a few hairs, but that'll make just enough difference to soften the shape just enough. So let's scoop all that out of the way. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. That's going to be good. So follow around. Key thing I always do is always comb the hair in the direction I want to take my part-ins, so it's nice and clean all the way through. I'm going to work to my finger, to me up with the horseshoe on this right side. Going to see how they sit, a little bit lower. So I'm going to work that forward, it'd be easier just to continue on. So all the way through to the front. Being sure as I comb the hair, just using the back of the comb just to control the hair a little bit more as I'm combing it up, just making it a bit easier for me as well. Okay. Balance is in, horseshoes in shape. And I just said horseshoes in shape. Horseshoes in place, that's it, the shape's there. I'm glad I'm thinking about what I'm saying sometimes. Sometimes I forget what I'm saying. I just go into that mode of where I'm going. So, look at all this hair, let's get rid of it.
Oh yeah.
You ready?
Yeah.
I don't want to get like the clippers and just go,
I wouldn't mind.
just cut it all
Yeah.
off. Nice. So I'm just going to start working back. Again, I'm going to focus on just removing length right now. This is not going to be the finished result. I just want to remove length really quickly, all the way through, from the front through to the back, just the easiest way. My fingers will be in this position, vertical. I'm just going to work that traveling guide all the way around, just removing length. The shape I'm going to be cautious of just around the back of the head, because I want to maintain a bit more length sort of through here, just so it's a bit softer and it can sort of blend into the front a little bit. So just being cautious of that I'm not going too short through this process. This is the idea now, just to remove some length. So as we go through, just work that blunt cut straight away to remove length. I could go through and point cut, but I don't want to go through just yet, because I do want to add that kind of sort of point cut texture in afterwards. Just with the curl, I want to maintain a bit of thickness to it, a bit of more control. And as I said, this is just the removal of length right now. So within that removal of length, I'm just going through in the quickest process and just cutting all the hair off. As you can see, it gives it a nice strong foundational feel. And it's just that little bit cleaner as well. So not always having to go through and take off or point cut into shape. That can be done as I play around with it later. I'm working with a little bit of tension to it. The reason for the tension more than anything else is just for controlling my hands. And I know as we are going to go through and point cut and soften all later, just to bespoke it really, just to put that final feel, that final touch to it. But all I want to do now is just remove length as quick as possible. So picking the hair up, working through, being clean all the way. So how is work?
It's good. We had a game yesterday
Oh, nice.
in Clackamas. We actually won.
Nice. Congrats.
Yeah, and we play at Mountain View today.
Oh, yeah.
It's our spring break, so it's pretty relaxed week.
Oh, yeah. Is always less kids there? Spring break time?
Well, once you're like high school baseball, if you're serious about it, you don't really schedule
Yeah.
spring break trips. But so we've had everyone that we need for varsity at least.
Oh, nice.
But Mountain View's JV team had to cancel because they don't have enough players.
Oh.
But that doesn't really affect us.
What school are you with?
Battleground.
Battleground, nice.
Yeah. I was at Skyview for 2 years, but
That was it, yeah.
it just wasn't working out. My buddy, he took the head coaching job at Kalama High School,
Oh, yeah.
and he had 18 kids try out, and 6 of them were 8th graders. And it's like, we have 15 kids on our varsity team. And so he had to fill 2 teams, but they just ended up canceling one of them.
Oh, yeah.
But he calls me about every other day, just screaming into the phone, going crazy.
Because he's stressed or just because he's...
Well, it's just so different than what we grew up playing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, our coaches told us how spoiled we were with just how we were brought up, and we didn't really realize it until now. And we look at these younger kids.
You're like, we had it so easy.
Yeah, well, and then Daniel's coaching a little league team.
Oh, is he coaching?
Yeah, in
Nice.
Mercer Island.
Oh, wow.
And
That must be a pretty good school up there, isn't it?
I think so, yeah. I think it's kind of similar to Skyview.
Oh, yeah.
The vibe, it's like you can't really tell them anything. And they all think they know best. But
Parents were really rich and they're like...
yes,
So.
yeah.
Okay, so length removed, as easy as that and as quick as that. I've got all of the length off, enough to give myself a bit of shape, a bit of design. I know what as I'm looking, I'm liking the texture, liking the movement, but I do want to go through, clean it up. I want to sort of change the haircut. I want to definitely give it a whole new shape to it. So as I'm moving through, I am going to work through now with a scissor-over-comb and just start to sort of clean up. But I do want to leave a little bit of length just around the back area. So I'm going to sort of build up that shape naturally. The scissor-over-comb itself, I'm going to keep quite soft. But again, as I cut, I'm just going to see how the shape develops. I think for me, working this kind of haircut, especially from long to short, and seeing a shape and just looking at it, that's the way I like to work the most. I like to sort of see the hair, see how it shrinks, see how it curls, see the movement to it. And it's really fun. I feel like when you're doing this kind of work, it's a little bit more like you're creating art, a canvas, you're painting, a bit more sort of abstract way, if you will. And you're just developing something, which for me, I really, really enjoy. I really like that kind of sort of work. So just keep asking, keep looking in the mirror, very importantly using the tools, seeing what's going on, and off we go. So wide teeth first of all, just going to start to remove length. And let's take it shorter. You're going to leave there like, wow, this hair's going to feel so light.
I'm excited.
Nice.
My head's gonna be cold.
That's it, that'd be perfect. Like, where them beanies?
Yep.
Worn them in years.
You never realize how long it is until I come in here.
That's it.
And it's like, wow.
It's because your curl shrinks so much that it
Yeah.
does literally just get so, it can get so big so quick. Remember when we was growing it out before, we just, I cut it and it just got so long, we'd like, whoa.
Yeah.
What's the longest you've had it?
It's got like the front. I can only really ever tell the front, but I've got that down to like my chin,
Have you?
and that's only a couple times it's been that long. I don't like to let it get that long.
Yeah. But it's fun at the same time, though.
It is kind of fun. Yeah. Kind of fun not caring.
Yeah. Wish I could do that with my hair.
Oh, yeah, that's this thing. What prompted this was I didn't have anyone telling me what to do with it. So
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, I just didn't have to follow rules or.
Just let it grow and grow and grow and grow and go, and that was it.
Yeah, part of that phase, I almost got a motorcycle.
Oh, you did?
Like, nobody's gonna tell me not to.
Yeah.
But I'm glad I didn't.
Why is that?
Just another thing to pay for and
Yes.
insure. And
When you get one and you fall in love with the bikes, so yeah.
well, yeah, I'm sure that would happen.
Yeah.
You have one?
I don't have one, but I do ride.
Oh, nice.
I'm a Category A racer.
Oh, wow.
So I actually do track days and stuff.
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah.
On a bike?
Yeah, motorbike.
Wow,
yeah,
that's
such a cat.
crazy. So you're dragging your knee on the pavement and all that stuff? On the turns?
I mean, I've definitely touched it down on the ground a few times,
That's
That's
sweet.
it. but not like, well, probably what you're thinking.
Yeah, okay. The bike at like a
I can,
13-degree angle from the ground.
yeah, I can get around pretty fast, and I can get down that low, but just my style riding is I'm
Sure.
fast without having to get my knee down. I don't like
Sure.
it. My knee touches the ground.
It's scary.
Yeah, I don't like it.
I wouldn't
So
either.
I'm that low, but I'm bringing my knee up,
I mean, that
which
makes.
is not a good way to do it. But
Oh, really?
again, it's not.
Huh. Well, I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I rode for years in England, and then my neighbour's got a couple of bikes, so he lets me ride them, and that was it. Yeah, so it's good fun.
Nice. I've never really driven anything with like a throttle.
Oh, okay.
It's only been pedals.
Yeah. I'd like to say I'm a mountain biker as well, but I only go 4 or 5 times a year, if that, because of the kids and life. So
Yeah.
I have all the gear.
That could beat you up.
Yeah, that was where my surgery was.
Oh.
My intestines resectioned.
Oh,
That's from
yeah.
mountain biking. Yeah.
That's right.
No, my C-sections.
Right. Wow.
Yeah, because I was cutting your hair at that time.
I heard about it.
Yeah, I think I was sort of just around that. It was around that time I think I started, because that was when, yeah, it was just as Charleston was born, yeah.
Jeez. One of my buddies in this program at Mount Hood he was on a one-way quad trail, and someone was going the wrong way, and they both went off this jump and like met in the air,
No,
and he broke his leg. Yeah.
that was lucky, just his leg.
Right. And the guy going the wrong way, nothing happened to him.
Wow.
Seems like that's what always happens. The person who causes it always walks away with less damage.
Isn't that funny when that happens?
Mm-hmm.
Got all of that. You're like, it's
No,
gone. It's
yes.
gone.
Feels good.
I'm looking forward to the days when I can have someone cut my hair. I cut my hair myself in the garage.
Oh, wow.
Or in the salon here, wherever I get a chance to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah. One of my clients has just come back from Turkey, where he had the hair implants.
Oh, really?
And it looks amazing.
Really?
I've never been so impressed. So yeah, I've just had one of my clients come back from Turkey with his hair implants. Last November he had it done, and he's gone through. It's fallen out and it's grown back. It looks so good. I'm so impressed. I will next year probably be going and over and getting it done myself. So yeah, that's it.
Wow.
So we document that when I get my new fringe. I can't wait to flick it back and have some hair. It'd be amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, I was like, because I've seen a few in the past, and I was like, I'm not too sure, just because they were like the plugs, where it really visible, it just looks crazy. But yeah, he's had it done, and it looks amazing. Like, extremely impressed with everything.
Is that like a pretty common thing? Like, why do they have to go over there?
They've just Turkey's just done like lead-in surgery. It's just, one thing that they specialize in. He said it's quite funny because when you're over there, the plane journey at the airport, you've got all of these guys in,
I've seen
the
videos
bandages.
of that.
Yeah, you've seen the videos. Yeah, he says
yeah.
it's absolutely true. It's so funny how true it is.
That's hilarious.
You're like, oh wow, that actually is the thing.
Huh. That's funny.
I think there was a talk show host or someone over there, like Joe Rogan or someone went over there and got it done, or someone did and
probably.
recorded himself doing it. Yeah, different whole thing.
It seems like a shady idea, like going somewhere else to get something done, but
Yeah.
I didn't know it was so common.
A friend of mine is going down to Mexico to get it done, so, I think in May, one of the guys I used to work with. And he said it was funny because they're all Turkish doctors.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
So. But yeah, I'm looking forward to when I get some hair.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Very excited already about it.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I've now just worked around to the fine teeth of the comb. Just for more finesse, I've removed the length with the scissor-over-comb, and now just going back through and just going to clean it up. And I'm just looking at the areas where the curl starts to move, and just making sure it just sort of blends a little bit. Just want that nice sort of texture, that nice sort of cleanliness to it. We can see the growth. It comes up, it comes across. There's lots of uneven growth patterns. So I'm just playing around with that as I'm working the scissor-comb, just cleaning up certain areas, working on the different movements, going against the grain in some places, going with it in some, just to sort of blend and keep it nice and clean. So this for me is like one of my loves when it comes to doing hair. I love scissor-over-comb. Just the repetitiveness of it, just the smooth, the shape, the control. I love the fluidity of the movement. Obviously you're hearing the scissors just sort of close back and forth and just visualizing and working a shape. So for me, I've always enjoyed this cutting technique. I always find when I do cut, I sort of will start cutting just before the area I want to work and then cut through it and just keep that flow going, nice and smooth all the way. And as we're talking, always sort of blending, always fading, always just sort of visualizing the shape, seeing it, looking it. But if you do ever get like where you get fixated on it, is that time when you'll probably realize when you're looking at scissor-over-comb and you get like, well, I can't even see it. Change the focus. Move your head around, go read something, a signpost on the other side of the road, or read something just to change the focus and then come back to it. And you'll come back to it with just sort of fresher eyes, which is really nice. Yeah, the kids yesterday was down on the beach and they was like, let's run in the dunes, let's go in the sea. So it was in the sea for a little bit and it was so cold. It was freezing. And we jump in the waves and stuff.
Oh man. And
then you've been to Cannon Beach, the area.
Yeah.
Just that, so when you drive into Cannon Beach and you've got Ecola State Park. Mm-hmm. So there's a little, and you go over that bridge, don't you?
Yeah.
So as soon as you come down, you've got like the resort or something. As soon as you come into like the town, little bridge. That bridge, as that runs throughout to the ocean, we hiked an old horse trail all through the reeds and stuff, and we had to like get logs to cross those ridges. It was like a little adventure me and the kids had.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it was really, really fun, like one of the best times of them. And then we found the water and it was like, this is warm enough to swim in. Not like the ocean.
Yeah.
So we ran back, to the campsite, got swimming stuff on, came back, and for some reason, it was freezing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, the Charleston's in there. And she's trying to, make me go under. And I'm like, it's just too cold. Like, my feet were numb, they were tingling. I was like, it was like the coldest ice bath ever. It killed me. But I done it. I went on, went in, and then they got this idea to just run the dunes to stay warm.
Okay.
So I'm chasing them up the dunes, but freezing. We are all freezing, but they are laughing and just joking. It was absolute magical.
That sounds like a great day.
It was. but I'm like completely out of breath. Chasing his two kids
He's
around.
trying to keep up.
I'm like, come on. And they're just like, just running off, and I'm like, oh my God.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
It could have been out there for hours.
If it wasn't the last thing at night, and they wanted to do a fire, it wasn't the last thing at night, they would have been. They just didn't stop running.
That's funny. I love spending time at the beach.
Yeah. I think even though it is such a cold beach, like it's not somewhere you'll go and, you can't really sort of like hang out and enjoy and just,
Suntan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to, you have to wear full sweats and stuff, don't you?
That is kind of funny beach attire.
Yeah.
You don't really see that at other beaches.
Yeah, because I went there with like a base layer, a t-shirt, a jumper, a hoodie, and a jacket.
Wow. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and then I was in my swimming stuff. So like on top I was like 6 layers, and then on top I just down to my shorts.
Jeez.
But yeah, it's weird. You go to the beach, you take more clothes to the beach than you do.
Right.
I'll have to speed some of the scissor-comb up. I'm really enjoying going quite slow. I know we've got the video to shoot, but I'm like, I just love working scissor-comb. When I teach this, it's one of the things that I always run behind on because to get it, it's all repetition and routine. Mm-hmm. So unless you're doing it like again and again and again and again and again, it's hard, and it sort of just takes that understanding of flow to get it. Mm-hmm. So when I'm working with the students, I'm sort of like, okay, you just take your time and we get there in the end.
Right. How old are the people that you're usually teaching, or does it vary?
It varies, but anywhere from 18 onwards, sort of. A lot of them sort of have experience already as well. But again, it could be in their 30s, 40s, but consistently usually in around their 20s and 30s.
Nice.
Yeah. So no one like young.
Mm-hmm. Well, they're hard to teach anyways.
Yeah. Good thing for me when I teach, it's people are there that want to learn.
Right, that makes a big difference.
Yeah. So I've got no one that I'm having to don't use the word force, but having to, coach into learning.
Yes.
They're all there to learn. They've paid,
Yes.
to learn. So. I think me doing this is the quietest we've ever been in here. Usually when I'm working, it's always like, we're talking or something's going on. I feel like we're quite calm this morning, aren't we? It's a good one.
Do you book it out in the mornings when you're doing these videos?
No, so we do one, usually like one video a week. Yeah,
Okay.
So we get one client.
Nice.
And then that's sort of enough because then I'll start the day or do what I need to do to carry on. Yeah. Okay. So I'm at a good shape where I'm liking what I've got. I am going to be taking this area smaller. I'm going to be cutting into the top part of the horseshoe. I'm happy with the underneath. I'm going to clean all of this up later with the clippers and the trimmers and go through and get all that a bit more detailed. But at the moment, the shape, the shortness, I'm really liking. From now on, I want to go through and just texturize these areas a little bit, get a bit more movement through here, and then we're going to start to cut the top. Biggest thing for me on the top, I don't want to keep disconnections. We've seen that a lot. I do want to reduce it quite a bit, but I do want to maintain a lot of length through that center. So I'll be working through the sides, dropping these down all the way through the back, Keeping it quite short and quite sort of tight until we get that length in the middle, but then again keeping that fringe quite square I feel is how I'm going to work with it. So the overall shape, I'm going to go through and just cut into the underneath first while it's exposed, and then we will bring the top down. So to do that, so finger depth is usually a good sort of density to work on, but because I've worked the scissor-comb short enough, I'm going to go through and just pick up with a comb and just break up with a little bit of point cutting through the comb. As we come through to the sides, I'm going to work a little bit more vertical, just so I can start to see the shape of the hair. Because if I work vertical on everything, what's going to happen is I'm going to start to cut the hair as it starts to bend. So, sorry, horizontal and everything. So I might have to comb the hair vertical, light over my fingers, and start to cut in these different areas. So we can start to lay, and as you can see, it just starts to sort of lay flat and smoother. So the shape instantly takes all the weight away. And then, Matt, if you have a look on, actually, we're spinning the camera around. You stay where you are, buddy. You stay where you are. I'll come to you this time. I always make you walk around, and I can come to you. As you can see here, just how much flatter this side sits to how wide this side sits. And it's not by taking length off, it's just by cutting into, reducing a little bit of width. It's just allowing, you know, these areas just to sit different, especially with the curl. It gives the hair holes and allows the curl to sit into those holy areas, so we can start to get a bit more movement, a bit more shape, and have that just softer. So I'm going to work that all the way around. Again, knowing that we've got extra length around the back, above the occipital bone area, I'm just going to go through and cut into those. Again, if I'm going horizontally, the hair's just kicking, so I can't get my blades in correctly. So again, just revert into vertical sections to make it easier for me to cut. So you see here, if I wanted to work horizontally, the hair's kicking. To cut into that, it's going to be harder work. So just by working vertical sections, again, wet or dry hair, doesn't matter. I can lay it across, and I can go and actually cut into the hair a bit more, give me a bit more break, changing those areas to make it easier for the hair to sit flatter. There we go, moving some hair. But just a nice way to texturize it. So it just takes the strength away from that area, which is nice. And as you can see, I'll get onto that in a minute, but as you can see just through the back, a little bit around this here. So just work a little bit of channeling, just to soften as well, just to break it up. But knowing how Michael wears his hair, it's going to be messy. So I do want to create that texture so it exposes those breaks, those holes, that's movement there as well. Okay, I'm going to spin through, swap positions, and off we go. And as we come around to the side, then I'll focus again on working just through the comb when the hair is just too small to work through my fingers. It's all about control, so when we can control the hair.
You can affect the cut that it's drying.
Not to a big degree. Again, I'm only sort of thinning and texturizing, just taking some weight out, removing it. I just know that when I do this side, you'll see me sort of do a few more cuts on the dry side because the hair's expanding rather than the wet side. It's, again, it condenses easier, so it's just the way to do it, yeah. With the curl and the movement and the texture, it's not going to affect it too much. A great question. Okay, so now I'm going to work to high recession, just working across the top. There we go. Comb down. Having my fingers along that guide below, and that's going to now work that texture. You can see my point cut is quite textured. Again, allowing the curl to release get a bit of movement in there. This hair in itself is not going to be sort of styled down, it's going to be sort of moved up and around and blended. So see it starts sort of to move up into the shape now. So this is sort of like your transition area, if you will, from the underneath to the top. Just brought the little bit of hair out here, because on this side, this really sort of wanted to comb up and over. So as I saw it, I just wanted to make sure it's being cut in the position or in the section that's going to sit the best. So every time I am taking a section, I'm still being very cautious in looking at the root area to see where it wants to sit and where it wants to lie naturally, because that will help with the styling when my client's at home. And if I'm working long hair, short hair, like you've seen me doing a couple of videos with the bobs and things, I'm always working with the growth, because if you work against it, you're just causing more problems for your client. They have to then work a little bit harder with the blow dry or the finish to get the shape to sit where you want it to, where they want it to sit, or you want it to sit. So for me, always very sort of key on understanding what's happening above or sort of below at the roots, because that will affect how the hair is going to sit. So through here, I'm going to cut this side just a little bit shorter. So you see here, comb the shape over my fingers to control the hair as I'm cutting. There we go. Looking good. Yes. Okay, so I'm now going to work into my fringe. So I'm leaving all of this middle till the end, because this is the area that I want longer with the curl, but I want all to blend to that. But now I'm going to take the fringe shorter. So really working on my focal points first to create the shape I want. I've worked a horizontal section across the top. This is going to sort of show how thick I want my fringe to be there at the front, how thick that needs to be, more than anything else. So that's just the reason why I've chose to go across that point there. I'm going to let that dry and just hang up a little bit, because I know we're going to let that hang with a lot of bounce. And I don't want to cut it wet and put a lot of tension on it, and then as it dries it goes and springs up too short. So just by allowing that to sit softer, allowing the curl to sort of happen, it gives me a much truer indication of what's going to happen through the front and how the hair is going to style naturally. With it being light, just cleaned, it's going to sort of jump up quite airy. When Michael's at home, it might get a little bit heavier. He said he's wearing hats a lot, so it's going to start to push the curl down, make that a little bit longer anyway for the styling. So it's just one of those things which I like through experience to play around with the curl a little bit, to get that movement. So I'm going to grab that whole section, work that just through my fingers, and very randomly, we're going to cut into those ends. So working this sort of haircut like it's a sort of a bush, if you will. I'm just picking that up and grabbing that so it's very messy, very textured. I'm utilising that natural curl, that natural shape. And as you can see from the front, it's coming out and then sort of down. But I'm just holding it into place and just sort of having fun with it, really. There's no sort of real rhyme or reason for this, just that I really want to sort of have a much more natural finish through that front. The biggest thing for me, as I said earlier, is I don't want to work with a lot of tension. The tension is going to allow the shape to jump up too much, and I don't want that. So for me now in that position in there, as that sits, that's nice and natural, nice and cool. We've got the squareness to it. Shake it around again. As it's moving, it's always doing good. I'm going to comb down, and now just make sure there's no real long bits. Just a couple, let's strengthen those up. So it's all of these areas here I'm cutting off. Yeah. So just really working naturally with the curl. Through here, not having any kind of real sort of official kind of structured detail, letting the curl bounce, letting it do what it wants to do, holding it all into the middle. When you hold it into the middle, the sides will naturally be longer. So I've got my shape, I've got my length where it wants to sit around the eyes. I'm happy with that sort of length, knowing that, you know, when it sort of curls, it's going to be a little bit longer, but the curl's going to shrink as well. But we're not going to have any sort of real structural cut to it. It's just very loose and very natural. Hey, how does that length feel?
That was great.
Feels good?
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, yeah.
Let me blast the hair because I've just got all of that over you. All right. Let's go cut some of this top, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's cut some of that top off. Now, for me, sort of when I look at that, I'm like, I mean, that's such a cool top already. Like, I'm really liking just. So, Matt, can I have a little look at this? But you probably look at it straight on there, but I just love all that height, that moving the top. Like for me, I'm loving that kind of sort of shape. But no, if it falls to the side and then hangs down here, that's going to be a little bit weird to it. So we are going to go through and cut those off, but I do want to maintain the extra sort of length on top. Does that feel good with the style, like having that length in there?
I like that.
Sort of nice and short and quite tall?
Yeah.
Perfect. So we can do the same thing. I'm going to come everything over to one side, connecting this area, come back over the other side, connecting this area here, and that will leave all that length in the middle. So for me, that's going to give me that nice shape that I can then just go through and style. We can go through also as well and part, you know, from the middle, cut this side and cut this side. But then when it comes to the top, has it been connected in both sides? I'd rather just comb over one side, connect it, and then go over the other side and connect it as well. So here we go, keeping the fringe out of play. Came down, finding the guide from the underneath, and point cutting nice and loose from the ends of that. So not working to the guide, but just using the guide as a reference point. Because when you work with curl, you don't have to connect as much, and especially working with the curl that we're working on today, we don't have to connect. We're looking for visual builds, visual balances, visual guides. So there we go. Back over the other side. Start from the back, find my guide, and cut into that there. Again, we've got lots of disconnections in this haircut. There's airs of connection, there's details, but we are working with disconnections. We are working with allowing the shape to move, allowing the shape to be quite free and quite natural. And that is a beautiful thing. Okay, I'm going to comb this back, make sure none of that back reaches, just do everything, a couple little bits through there. How's that length feel? Do you want that shorter? Does that feel good? Put your hands in, make sure it feels good. Thinking you might want it shorter.
Maybe just a
Tad shorter?
Just a little bit.
Yeah. Usually when I do something and I feel like I want to do it, I usually know it's the right decision, but I always want to get the client to check just to make sure, because you know we do want a sort of a shorter shape. So what I'm going to do the same technique, but just go and take it shorter. Again, even make it connect it to these areas here, but the same technique again. I'm loving the fringe, so I don't want to change the fringe, so keep that in its place, but just redo. And it's always nice that we can do that, you know, find a length, go through, do a, you know, cut a shape, look at it. Does it need to be shorter, does it not? You know, play around with that is really, really key. We don't always want to have to, you know, restrict ourselves. As I've said earlier from the consultation, working a haircut visually, organically, building it into, you know, life and fruition really, I think is really fun for me. I'm just going to, knowing that we're going shorter, I'm just going to bring the fringe to the sides just to connect those corners, just so it doesn't get too disconnected or square through there. Come back the other way. Hair's drying out quite a bit now, but that's fine. We're extending the hair. Work with the tension anyway, so it's going to be good. making sure I'm not working tension through the front, because that's the important area of having that really natural. Connect that corner. Is there anything to cut off? Just a tiny bit, and I just want to connect to those areas. Again, as I said, just so it's still got the shape, but it's just not long bit hanging down here. So now let's have a little look. And now we have gone shorter. And I'm going to love the fringe and the shape, but I am going to go through and just take off that initial corner we've created through the top. Knowing how short we are, we can start to see the disconnection here and through the top. So just by doing that, it will just round the shape, or just blend that shape just a little bit more. So here we go, top corner. Just point cut those back and forth, so go both directions. Just we're keeping it nice and clean. There we go. Make that squarer through the top. I'm not using a guide. I'm just working the whole top, just individual sections. I don't need to work a guide, because I'm just going through and initially taking off that corner, as you can see. This is going to connect into the fringe. So let's see if there's any bits that, there's that one bit there to connect the fringe. But within this, less is definitely more through that area. Hey, how's that feel?
Oh, it's great.
That feels better?
Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
A little easier to manage.
Just a little bit, just
Yeah.
a little bit. Get rid of some of the hair. I'm going to turn to the side just because I want to see now just the shape that I've created. So nice bit of length through the sides, nice bit of detail. As I can start to see that sort of profile shape I've created, let me show that in the camera. You can now start to see that sort of shape that I've created from sides and back. I can detail in it. I know when we just sort of leave it and work with that sort of finish, it's going to do exactly what I want it to do all the time. When we get more curl, we start to see more shape. It will just start to evolve, but build in nice and easy. Okay, long bit there I think I'm going to cut off. You can start to see, if I just show you this, like a little corner of a curl. So I'm going to pull that out. Just point cut that little curl there off. And let's do that square across the back. Just so we've not missed anything. And as you saw, just a tiny bit coming off, but just enough. Yeah, look at that. That's there. Is that just a straight bit? Yeah, we cut it anyway. There you go. But just enough to keep that shape nice and clean. All right. Let's grab the clippers and detail the edges and see where we're at. I'll spin you back around, mate. Da, da, da. Perfect. Nice. And when we put product in, wet it down again, it will reduce a little bit, but just so you know, if you want it big, you can have it nice and big. Look at that.
Yeah, I love that.
That's good. So now just going to work through just with the Slimline Pros. I love these trimmers. So feel free to grab some of these, have fun. They're ones I use on everything really. They're just some really nice, easy ones to work with. I'm just going to clean up the hairline, maybe do a little bit just of trimmer over comb there just to finish. So being as light as possible with my hand, with my touch. I'm not going in and pushing the blade in. I'm just letting it just literally glide across the skin as light as possible, just so as I'm cutting. I'm not starting to pull the hair. I just dig the blades in. So just being a really, really nice and light, I find is a nice way to be. was at Cannon Beach last night, and we wanted to do a fire, so we went to just the general store, and I turn up and there's a girl walking in there, beautiful black curly hair, you know, like crazy all big and stuff like that. So as we was leaving, me in Charleston, we'd got some food and some stuff for the fire, and I was like, "You got beautiful hair." And she's like, "Oh, thank you. I'm here for in town on a photo shoot." I was like, "Oh, for like a hair company?" No, for sandals. I was like, "I need to film you, girl. You are stunning." And I didn't know the name, but Charleston sort of recognised the name. So I didn't even recognise it, but yeah, she was out there.
Maybe that'll be your big break.
That's it. I'm a foot model. That's it.
Yeah. Foot and hand model would be a pretty sweet job.
Yeah, that's it. What was that on in some movie? Friends, when it was saying?
Yeah,
it was like Joe's hand
something
model.
like that. Yeah.
My hand twin. Okay, so gone around and cleaned up all the hairline, gone around and done all the details. Pretty much happy with everything. I just want to go through now just with a barbering comb and just clean up any last little bit, especially around the hairline, just so I can really perfect that scissor-over-comb, just sort of through to the ends. With all the movement in the root growth, all the root directions and stuff as the hair's growing, it just needs a little bit of finessing. So do that, and then we're going to go through, wet the hair down again, work with a bit of product in there, create a little sort of cast, get that shape in there, dry it off, and then it'll be done. So here we go. As I'm working with the barbering comb, the difference being I'm sort of pushing it a bit closer to the scalp, and I'm not trying to cut length, I'm just trying to sort of finesse any area. So in the nape area, I'm going to just start to move the neck so we can start to flatten out any area that's creates any indentations. Just allow the hair just to pick up that little bit more and expose any areas that needs just addressing. The reason I like to do scissor-over-comb on Michael's type hair, especially with the growth patterns, is if I work with the clippers, this area here that's quite sparse, it's really going to show. So you're going to start to sort of see those little steps in those lines. So with the scissor-comb, I find personally, just for myself, my technique can just be that little bit more clean, a little bit more bespoke, create that shape to a little bit more of a detail that I like to work with it. I know there's the choice of using clippers just to be quicker, to get through it, you know, but just sort of my ability, I like the scissor-over-comb aspect of it. And as I said earlier, like I really enjoy scissor-comb anyway, so you know, to get a chance to use this technique in any capacity, I really enjoy it. As I am working through the barber comb, the strength I'm working with my thumb is a lot lighter. I'm not putting any muscles in, I'm actually putting it in there very light. I'm not trying to close the blade and remove hair. A lot more delicate, a lot more dainty with the closing of the blade as I'm working through. So sometimes, like the blade won't even cut the hair just because it's being closed very softly. This is where Michael falls asleep just because, you know, we're doing scissor-comb so much.
Tired, yeah.
Can you feel it? You're like,
Yeah.
I can feel your neck going. Like.
I was closing my eyes earlier because they were starting to water and I was like on the edge.
Oh, yeah.
Just drifting off.
I've always found like scissor-comb, this is so relaxing for me, but I know like, you know, when you're sort of doing that with the back of your head, you just get really tired.
Yeah. I got a question for you.
Yeah.
You always hold the scissors and the comb in the same hands, or can you do both and go back and forth?
That's a great question. I always hold them in the same hands. Being ambidextrous, if you can, amazing. I used to be able to teach how to cut left-handed, because I'm right-handed, so I hold the scissors in my right hand.
Wow.
So I used to be able to teach left-handed. I used to be able to do it, but I don't do it enough. So now it gets a bit sort of clunky, so it's not as smooth. But most hairdressers, I believe, and then tell me if this is different, but most hairdressers, I believe, will keep the scissors and the comb in the same hands to work here. It's sort of like your strength and your consistency. However you sort of, you know, get taught, and whatever feels, you know, most confident is the hand you're going to start with and continue on with as well.
Gotcha.
Do you know, I've never been asked that question. In my 30 years experience, I've never been asked that question.
Really? I was just thinking, because you're going side to side, and that'd be a hard thing to do.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure there's someone out there that can do it, but it's not me. I keep all the scissors in my right hand and comb in my left, yeah. Go. Okay, so I'm happy with everything so far. I'm really enjoying the cut. I've got the nice shape to it. I'm going to go through and spray the hair down with some water and then apply some product ready for the finish. So just using a nice gel just to work through in the hands, really focusing on getting that product around the hair, scrunching it in, allowing that's going to create a cast in a minute for me as well. Just scrunching that product through. Now that's how Michael's going to wear it when he's at home. He's going to put some water in it, he's going to scrunch some product in, and then just leave it. No, I want to make sure it's just nice and easy for him to work, and if it dries out later, gets fluffy, gets frizzy, that's absolutely fine. As we can see, just getting a lift into those roots. Using my fingers just to scrunch those in. Can use a little bit more product, because we love product. So, I'm now just going to go back through and just work that product through the hair, being a bit stronger with the application, just to enhance that curl. So as I'm working through now, I've scrunched the product in, but now I'm actually working through smoothing the product through the hair. So as you can see, the curl now starts to get a bit more defined, a bit more control to it. So Michael, as you can see, as I'm pulling it through, that's sort of how you'll work that curl, by pulling it through quite tight, allowing that spring on that curl to sort of jump back, and you can just start to see that the curl itself gets a little bit more defined, rather than just sort of like patting it in, actually sort of controlling that curl a bit more. So we're smoothing it over, but it needs to be really wet when you do it. Okay, otherwise it's not going to do the same thing that we want it to do. And now when we put the shape in, you can just see the definition of the curl a lot more. And then we can go through and like just massage them roots just to lift it off the head itself. I should have worn a white shirt today. It would have been a lot easier for everyone to see and for me to see the hair, so I keep having to move out of the way so I can get the white background. I didn't even think about what I was wearing today when I was thinking about Michael's hair. But always think about that if you know you've got a lot of dark hair clients, wear a white shirt for the day. Makes your life so much easier. So, just going to imitate some air drying, just a natural dry for Michael. This is how we put some product in. Here, I'm going to promote him to walk out of the hair, walk out of the house now. This is what you'll do, walk out, let the hair naturally dry. And then you'll see how we naturally imitate the air drying. And then we're going to break it up in just a sec with our hands. Just imagine that it is nice and dry. That's it. So my hand is covering the air coming out of the diffuser from the dryer, just to slow down the hair, the air and the hair. Tongue twister, it's a full tongue twister. Slow down the air that's coming out of the dryer over the hair, just so I create some less frizz, and just so I can also feel the temperature that's happening. But again, there'd be less intense air, friction, vibration over the curl itself. So just, again, softens the air hitting the hair. Once that cast is getting created, once the gel is drying, the product's drying in the hair, we can then start to pull it out and make it that little bit fluffier, which will be like once it's dry for you, and it just starts to dry. And when you're working throughout the day, that's how it will look. But this is how you'll leave the house. And then later in the day, we'll just move it around, it just get bigger and cooler, but it will maintain its definition because the cast that's got created. A few good styling tips on curly hair as well. Remember to pull that through, use your fingers, get some tension.
Okay.
No doubt you'll call me and be like, what did you say in the video? Yeah. Well, just watch the video, that's it.
True.
Lessons are already there, it's working naturally. Okay, that cast getting created, so just being a bit freer now with the dryer. Let it feel that, just so you can feel the cast that I've been talking about, like the crispiness of it.
Oh yeah.
If it feels like there's something in there.
Yeah.
So that's what would happen like an hour and a half after you leave the house.
Okay.
It'll just dry like this.
All right.
And then I'm just going to dry it just a tiny bit more. And what you'll find you'll do once it's like that, you won't change it. You'll just leave it. Okay. But naturally, from you moving hats or back and forth or just moving it around, it will naturally start to break up. So as you can see with the shape in place, like even just wearing like this for the day, I think that looks great. Like I'd be happy for Michael just to walk out and be like, my hair's done and complete. But I want to put a little bit more of a fullness to it, a bit more of a fluffier texture to it, a bit more feel to it. So to do that, we're just going to go through and scrunch and do that same technique that you've seen me do before. Just move those roots areas. Pull some of that curl. And see, it just fills the shape out but maintains that definition. So imagine like if you're scratching your head a little bit here or there, you're just moving it around, it would just naturally fill the shape out and do the detail. Yeah.
It's nice because there's so much hair up there, but it doesn't look like it.
Yeah. I mean, when it was dry and we was cutting it, it was, he was like, it's gonna stay this big. Right. But just the right product choice is really important just to allow it to work. So that's some of the biggest things we worked with. Anything that creates a cast to it. I've used I Create Volume from Innocence as a product today, which is a really nice one. But you can use anything that just creates a cast on the hair and it just sort of dries and gives it that look to it.
Okay.
There we go. Let me show you the back and then you can see all of that.
Oh yeah.
It feels good?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
I like
Just
that.
nice and clean, just detailed. There we go.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Nice.
Oh, buddy, we are done. So there we go, finished result for Michael today. Just a little recap on it. We went through very naturally and quite organically just to go through and create the style. Now, what was we thinking? Not too sure. I know I wanted to take the side shorter. I wasn't too sure how short. but I know I wanted to keep some length in the middle of the top just because of how I like the hair to work and the shape of the fringe. So that's what I went through to do. We went through with a nice classic horseshoe, diagonal backs to remove some length, and then went through and just worked scissor-over-comb on the underneath just to really clean up the underneath all the way through, just keep it quite natural, quite soft, more than anything else. Point cut the sides, point cut the fringe very naturally, so again it's working with a lot more volume in the front, but just very soft. We don't want to put a lot of tension through here. Through the top, we just comb to one side, connect it in, comb to the other side, connect it in to maintain length in the middle, but we did go through and just detail that initial corner, just as a little bit squarer. The overall result, as you can see, just a great shape scissor comb, a nice detail with a curl, soft, fun little result. I hope you like the techniques in the video today. I hope you like the understanding of how I achieved the result. If you do, please do the usual, the like, subscribe, leave a comment. Please leave some comments and some questions. If there's any looks you want to see in the future, throw it in the comment section, and I'll try and crack one of those looks for you as well. It's been an absolute pleasure today, cutting Michael's hair and being on camera, and I look forward to seeing you in another video. Thanks so much, everyone. Bye.